night, well, not all night, for about 2.5 hours, because we don't want to be here all night, do we? No, we don't. Well, so far we don't, anyway. So first off, we've got Ace Ambrose, who's here to entertain you for the first part. So here we go.
Hey guys. I'm Ace. I'm a songwriter from Kenilworth, and I was going to do a completely different set tonight, but I've decided to do a couple of different songs I haven't really played as much before. So this first song, it's a lullaby that I wrote for my godsister, and it's very different to like all the stuff I usually do because I'm a bit of a rock and roller, but it's being turned into a little animation next year, and the story behind it is basically a pirate king and a pirate queen are like ruling the seas together, but then Poseidon is so jealous of their love that he causes a storm to separate them. And so the queen ends up washed up on this island, and she finds the sirens and she gives them this song to sing out into the ocean so that she can find her pirate king again. And this is called Where the Sky Meets the Sea.
Guess who? Commentary. Nice. Poets. Ta-da! From Commentary. Can you believe it? Let's get them up here.
Can you hear me?
Just about.
So the Coventry Live Poets. Usually you can find us in the Council House on a Wednesday evening, and we started in the 1990s, in not quite the good old days, but in the 1990s in Earlsdon Library. And we never know what other people are going to read, so it's a bit like that tonight. We don't know what we're reading, and we hope that some of it will connect with you somehow. The first person to come is the first in the alphabet, and that's Alison Mukherjee. Yes, you're here.
Who closed your eyes and pulled the rings from your dead finger? Who removed your clothes and placed them, folded in a carrier bag? Who washed you down and slid your body onto the cold shelf? Eager for their shift to end, to enjoy a drink with friends, did they pause to wonder whether you were loved? When your train begins to pull out of the station, leaving another stationary, you experience some satisfaction, which increases with the speed until the other train disappears from view and you realise that yours has never moved at all. And then the stillness is all the more still. This is a translation from a Bengali poem by Rabindranath Tagore. You're riding high, my darling, and I simply can't keep up. I'm sorry, so very sorry. My pulse is racing, my whole body shakes. Forgive me, dearest, I don't have what it takes. I was young once and my blood was hot. Now I've lost focus, my motivation shot. I've let you down, my love. I've fallen short. I'm sorry. Really, I am.
Last night, a spider spun. Blackberries turned black. Some apples fell. Snails did what snails do. Birds commented at dawn. Last night, the world spun. Hillside trees burnt black. Some buildings fell. People did what people do. Some died, and some were born.
It's better than Haagen-Dazs, better than Blossom, better than fine wine, ground coffee, green olives, and the waft of fresh baked bread. It's better than sex, better than babies' giggles, better than orange peel in marmalade or a tick-tock clock in a book-filled library. It's better than firelight, better than life, better even than football, and better by far than chocolate or pine cones on forest floor. I've never known it, never tasted, never seen it, but out of the tail of my eye, or caught in the back of my throat, or brushing the nape of my neck, or breathed in the air of my air, it's there.
So this is where it begins, with an explosive declaration much in vogue at the moment. So, until recently people began speaking with a relevant word. I am going out, it is raining, don't forget to buy this or that, the car won't start, have I got enough money? But now things have changed. So, you have to start off with a so. So now you know. So the weather is better. So I know you're there. So are you listening? But it's also an aggressive little word. So. I can say what I like, verbally throwing down the gauntlet or slapping it across the face. So do your worst. So go fly a kite. So there. So what? so I have got it out of my system.
The last waltz. Got some change, Gav. The charity damp soap duvet, claimed by the council bin men in my scavenging absence. Tonight, the squashed cardboard mattress on hard slabs will be my answer to affordable housing. Between, please, got some change, Gav, and the half-length throwaway butt smoked, having no care whose lips had sucked the filter tip, drifting, 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 hard as the ring-bound knuckle hit my head again, again and again. The bastard, my father, the bastard. Got some change, Gav? Warming my groin. Means I've pissed again. They cared for me, the way HM forces do. 11-year squaddy. No stripes, fine, okay, fine. Up early, out, training, eat, travel. Yes, sir! Bollocks. Anything to say, soldier? No, sir! Travel, training, yes, sir. Bollocks! Out of my brain, on the grain with me mates, many times on the beaches by overseas barracks. You're on your own, son. Use the pension small wisely. Out of my brain, on the grain with me mates. Some change, Gav. Change, Gav. Just one small rap. Just the one. Quicker than any rolling stone, give us a couple of raps. Change, Gov, change. She left with the kids. Out of my brain, on the grain with me mates. Disowned, disagreeable, disassemble, disappear. Change, Gov. Gov, change. A can. Carlsberg special, so special, can. A wrap, just a wrap. I wonder if I should go or should I stay. The band has only one more song to play. La la la, the last waltz with you two lonely people together. La 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 la. The last waltz should last forever, ever, ever. Change, Gov. Change. Change, Gov. Change.
So next up we have Carius Hannah from Birmingham.
He believes in dragons. They're currently his favourite animal. Last month, it was tigers. 3 days ago, I marked his science test paper. Question 5. Name 4 living things. His answers. 1. Dog. 2. Cat. 3. Tree. 4. Dragon. I hastily scrawled, dragons aren't real in the margin, whilst awarding him 4 points on the technicality. The red ink stained my palms like blood the moment my pen hit the test paper. I had become Lady Macbeth, and all the perfumes of Arabia could not sweeten my little hand. I'm employed to facilitate the broadening of young minds, and how dare I tell this 6-year-old boy that dragons don't exist? Now we're in the classroom. I hand back every test paper apart from his, and I ask him to stay behind after the lesson. His nostrils begin to flare, and I know that if I gave him back his science test paper now, he'd screw it up into a ball and use it as kindling to further fuel his fire. After convincing him that he's not in trouble, and bribing him with stickers, I finally get him to agree to stay behind after class, but he still insists on lining up with the other boys and girls before pulling up a chair next to my desk. I get out his science paper, and I refer to question 5 complete with my scribbled out annotations. I point out the glaring error. I'm sorry, I say. I made a mistake. We all make mistakes sometimes, even teachers. That's all right, miss. I still think you're a good teacher. Oh, thanks, I say. Hey, miss, didn't you say your dad comes from Wales? Yeah, that's right. Oh, miss, I love Wales. I mean, I've never been there, but I've heard it's beautiful. There are mountains and valleys and lots of dragons. Hey, miss, have you ever seen a dragon before? I see the longing for magic in his eyes. I take a deep breath. Yes, I say, I've seen a dragon, and it was magnificent. But do you know what? Not everyone can see them. I guess I must be really special, like you. And he smiles, contented with my answer. I'm teaching him maths, English and science, and he's teaching me to believe in dragons again.
So, next up we have Laura Monmouth. Yay! Give her a round of applause.
Hi. Oh, I can't see any of you, this is weird. But before I start, there's 2 things I need to address. Number 1, I've got to get through 300 slides in the space of about 15 minutes, which I can do, but I have collated this very, very quickly, which means that there may be slides in this which shouldn't be there, so do bear with me. The other thing I need to address is, I'm going to be honest with you guys, since I've been here, I have noticed that 1 or 2 of you have been staring at me, and this is fine. Don't worry about it. I understand that it's still new to some of you. I might be the first of my kind that some of you have ever come across. But I have heard the whispers as well, the is she, isn't she whispers, so let's address this right now and tell you that yes, I am from West Bromwich. Not the weirdest decision I've ever made in my life. That was the weirdest decision I made in my life, taking that show up to Edinburgh last year, a show mixing gender issues with retro gaming. And I'm wondering to myself why there are more people in this room right now that came to see me in Edinburgh last year. But it won me awards, so it's fine, okay? But let's go through a little bit. You'll notice that it's in the style of like an 80s retro game, and you'll notice that heckles are set to off, with one exception. Because what I like to do at the start of every single gig is I like to tell you something about myself, and then collectively I need you all to shout 2 very important words back at me. They're up on the screen right now. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'm 37. I'm going to be honest, you can do better than that. This is literally your only opportunity to do this without it being considered a hate crime. So, I'm 37. Much better. And this is kind of the show that I took up to Edinburgh last year. I realise that there are certain people in this room that are around the side, so I just need to make sure that you can see the picture of the dogs playing video games up on the screen right now. Can you all see that? You can all see. You can mostly see that. That's fine. This picture does give us one important question though, which is what kind of shit has this dog seen? But we'll ignore that for just a second. I hate asking this. Who's on Twitter? You know what Twitter is, yes? I like Twitter. Right, okay, let's get transgender, get over it, it's fine. But I like Twitter because people can ask me things on Twitter that they would never ever dare ask me out on the street. Got an example for you there. So once you're taking off hormones, does it, just drop off? Genuine tweet, that's I got. Another one, what's the difference between being transgender and being a transvestite? There's a dictionary definition of being transgender. Denoting or relating to a person whose sense of personal identity and gender does not correspond with their birth sex. But as we all know, a transvestite is a rock that hangs upside down in a cave. This one here, that's an interesting name. Where does it come from? I've only got 15 minutes, so I can't go into this, but I will tell you that that is my name. Laura Monmouth, third best known transgender comedian in the country. Which is why none of you know me. None of you know me. Google doesn't know me. I Google myself and that constantly happens. There is no you in Monmouth. I still get the showing results for Laura Monmouth with the U. I am not a small town in Wales, and I've fed up with people Googling me, and the first thing that comes up is that. It is inappropriate. But this is the thing. I don't know what you're like with expectation and reality, okay? That's my name. You might be thinking that there's a you in there. The reality is that there's not. I see that, and this is my expectation and reality right here. I see that. That's the Princess Leia costume from the film Return of the Jedi. I quite like that, but the reality is I'm good for taller than Carrie Fisher ever was. It's never, ever going to happen, okay? And that's my expectation and reality. And you all deal with expectation and reality in various ways every single day as well. And the most famous example, it's right there. It's a Big Mac. You know what it is? It's described as the one and only mouth-watering perfection, expectation and reality. You know that. You know the expectation of the Panda Ice Bullet, which looks like Mickey Mouse has gone through a furnace, and there's not. There is not a single person in this room that has never opened a box of Lucky Charms and not found inside the rotting corpse of a leprechaun. That's expectation and reality. Road signs are no different. You know what that is? It's instructing you where to have a wee. That's fine. That one there, these are everywhere in West Brom. That one, not so sure if what somebody's done there is they've attempted to improve reality. They've taken a joke, they've made a joke out of a mosquito issue. The mosquito is going to be carrying someone off. So with that in mind, let's improve reality. I can't see you, but I'm going to come to you, sir. What does that sign say to you? What is that sign?
Pedestrian crossing.
Pedestrian crossing. That to me is a warning sign that Tom Hanks is going to be playing the giant piano in the film Big. Improve reality. This one here is the pervious toilet sign. The pervious toilet sign in Hong Kong. Turn it on its side, improve it. It's a warning, don't look under the patio. Okay? Improve reality. Turn it on its side again, no cheating during a game of blind date. Okay? We are improving reality. Mind the step. There is only one kind of step you should make in that kind of face out should you come across at the top of the stairs. That's H from steps. But we'll improve reality further.
And it's Bobby Parker, and it's come a long, long, long way from Kidderminster. Are you ready for it?
Wow, it's really cruel to put me on after such an amazing performance.
You poor stuff.
Wow. Really cool. Okay, I'm going to start from reading a few poems from my new book, Working Class Voodoo. I'm going to begin with a poem about addiction, and more specifically alcoholism. And every time my girlfriend and I try and give up alcohol, I always find that to pass the time I get really silly and do really silly things. So this is a poem about that. This is King of Eggs. When we tried to quit drinking again, I got so bored I would throw eggs onto the street late at night after the clubs had closed. They weren't rotten or anything, they were perfectly good eggs. My usual target was drunk lads shouting awful things at girls walking home alone. There was a tall fence around our property. Since I couldn't see where my eggs landed, I aimed for voices, avoiding the odd passing car, hoping for a headshot. It gave me a silly buzz and made Katie laugh, and that's all I wanted. We rented a house with a big garden. There was a pond surrounded by lawn ornaments, birds, dogs, and a small boy pissing creepy in the moonlight. Sometimes I felt quite mad, standing on the wet grass with a cold egg in each hand, watching the neighbours' lights go out one by one. Often the street was dead, but I threw eggs anyway, listening for the sound of them, smacking the pavement, so satisfying, like ice cracking or popping the cork from a bottle. Then I would go back in the house to stare into the light of the empty fridge, the way I stare into open churches. Eventually, creeping upstairs to look down from the bedroom window at all the shattered shells and glistening yolks on the silent road, astonished by my work and slightly afraid.
It has a little Facebook following. If you're more than welcome to join the page on Facebook, more the merrier. I wrote this about 3 years ago after I'd watched, it's a bit of a sad subject really, but it's an important one. After I'd watched real footage about the fur industry, and it was, I can tell you now from my heart, it was beyond horrendous. So, but this is what came through after I had a long walk and a bit of meditation. This is what came through. I hope you enjoy it. One cold November morning, a fox awoke from his sleep. Out of the box he scrambled, which was at least 6 foot deep. What a strange place. I don't remember coming in here. Oh, but I do recall last night a strange feeling of fear. Oh, it must have all been in my head. A bad dream in my head. I must have been tired and came in to find a warm bed. Suddenly, to his surprise, never had he felt so cold. Where on earth is my coat? He gasped in horror, because from head to toe he was completely bald. Oh, this is not so good, Foxy thought. Where could I have lost it? Feeling so distraught. Aha! I will retrace my steps and have a good search. Looking around, he noticed a little bird sitting on a perch. Excuse me, please, birdie, but have you seen or heard of anybody finding my coat, maybe the horse sheep or the billy goat? The bird looked, and thought for a while, and then shook his head. I'm so sorry, Foxy, but you should ask Owl. Maybe he can help you instead. So, Foxy crept out of the cold building, made of stone. The place was creepily quiet, and he could not shake the feeling that he was not entirely alone. Keeping his eyes and ears alert, he silently slipped away. He could not deny a feeling that this was no ordinary day. Quickly towards the woods he headed. His skin was so cold. What on earth are these lumps? Never before have I felt such goosebumps. Once inside the woods, Foxy let out a shout. Owl, dear Owl, do you know what my coat is about? Owl heard Foxy, and he flew swiftly down, looking at him all over. Foxy gave a sad frown. Oh, my dear boy, I am so sorry to say that it was a thief who stole your fur coat away. Oh, please, dear Owl, can you point me on the right track? My coat was given to me from my mother, and I dearly wish to retrieve it back. Over the hill to the town along the road is where the thief lives, so I am told by the toad. So Foxy ran with all his will to find his coat before he came too cold and too ill. Such a long journey to the town, it had become night. Foxy then saw a cat sitting under the lamplight. What on earth has happened to you? Said the cat with a laughing hiss. Oh, you're all bald and something has gone amiss. I am looking for the thief who took my coat, giving the cat an upset poke. This really is no laughing matter. Honestly, this really is no joke. Oh, okay, well you may want to try the street up the hill, but remember my warning. Don't stay there too long. Make sure you're gone by the morning. So Foxy ran up the street and searched high and low. He desperately wanted his coat back, and then he would go. The strange coldness and stone was all around, shops in the darkness with windows full of gowns. Then something caught his sight. The shop on the end. In the window was his dear furry friend. He walked slowly towards the window. With a shocked surprise, there hanging on a headless figure was his beloved coat with a sore lump in his throat, not believing his eyes. Why? Oh, why? How can this be? This coat should not be for sale. This coat rightly belongs to me. Remembering what had happened and why he had bad dreams full of fears, Foxy felt so sad and cold his eyes began to fill with tears. As his heart grew heavy, all overfilled with fear, about to give up suddenly, a light grew bright and an angel appeared. The angel held Foxy, cradling him with such sweet loving care, but Foxy was so sad, he whispered, "This just is not fair. Please, dear angel, please tell me why. Why did they take my coat, put me in a box and leave me to die?" The angel replied with such sweet grace, "Dearest Foxy, this is the fault of the human race. They have not learnt to be compassionate yet, respectful or good. Alas, they have become vain, greedy, and have an unnatural thirst for blood. Sadly, it is not just you, it is happening everywhere, and things will not change until they open their hearts and minds and the humans begin to care." Foxy cried, filled with pain, "I do not wish to be born into this cruel world ever again." The angel spoke softly, "Alas, all is not in vain. We have many special angels working hard on the earth plane. Their job is truly difficult, but they will never refrain until they have restored the love frequency here on the earth once again." Looking into the eyes of the angel, he understood and gave a sigh. Letting go of the pain, Foxy let his spirit fly.
So, we have music. Where is Craigus? Retinal Circus, here we come. Are you ready for it? He's very experimental. It's weird, it's wacky, it's Craigus, it's the Retinal Circus.
of the pearl that started to heaven upon the dry and dusty shores. Beneath these dying suns, in the wispy around, quiet eternity of the cosmos, ashen ascending grey, oceans are burning across, conceiving constant chrysalis. The vacancies run dry with distended fingers of doubt is filled every fossils, beauty and dust.
Cheers. So this is called Write What You Know. Bad days, sad days, each of my phase outweighs what rational says. Inner voice prays on your worst fears, counts the ways. You're boring, stupid, worthless, and your mates fake friendship, got no good traits or talent. This is self-hate. Grips with talent, rants you fuck up every single day. You should grant no word of favour and just go away. Don't you understand? You waste oxygen and space. Awake, it's late, tears race down your face till you taste soul. Planet Earth's an uncaring place and it's your fault. And being alive is just an obstacle to vote. Everyone who died before their time in every war, every species, humanity's destroyed in every poor person charity couldn't help, every yelp and cry of pain, all the children killed by thirst while you stood in the rain, selfishly soaking up water, same as you absorb blame. Then you're choking on your misery and drowning in shame. The wolf's at my door, he's huffing and puffing. One little pig in a pork batch with stuffing. Trying to be wise, but it's lies, I just have to keep bluffing. They say, write what you know, but I don't know nothing. If you put garbage in, you get garbage out, and you can tell by the amount of rubbish that comes out of my mouth, but I cannot be trusted to always be by myself. This kid should not be allowed to hang about with self-doubt. Would you be friends with yourself if you were someone else? Some days I like my own company, but other times I felt dragged down by pressures I could never hide or surmount. No way to measure the self-loathing that I've carried around. So strange, brain deranged, denying me sound mental health, had me crying about trying to pound my life underground. Focused so long on dying, found that now I couldn't see a future, cut it up, strangled it, dangled it from a tree, handled it, but how even to me is a mystery. Being human isn't easy, it takes strength and energy. Feeling tense, sometimes dense, I'm thicker than people concede. My intelligence not a tenth of what it maybe should be. The wolf's at my door, he's huffing and puffing. One little pig in a pork batch with stuffing. Trying to be wise, but it's lies, I just have to keep bluffing. They say write what you know, but I don't know nothing. Sorry, what's this? One more verse. Don't know why that death dilemma was penned in the past tense. Don't know whether I'll ever be better 100%. Some say depression's a blessing in disguise because it opens your eyes to the lies and your mind is now awoken. But does that mean that it's neat for my sleep to be broken when unconsciousness is the proverbial shiny token for happiness, that prize we strive for our whole existence? But surprise, surprise, the little shit puts up resistance. And is it more ignorant to keep chasing with persistence? Or give up on hope and forever maintain your distance? Insignificance, night sky directed from the stars, but most times the big picture perspective makes me laugh. Why take yourself so seriously? Who do you think you are? It's good to be nobody, I do the universe no harm. Knowing you're purposeless can weigh heavy on the heart, but it's also liberating, so give freedom and kick start. The wolf's at my door, he's huffing and puffing. One little pig in a pork batch with stuffing. Trying to be wise, but it's lies, I just have to keep bluffing. They say write what you know.
Ancestors. From the sour breath of quarry towns we came, to our scars the firelight, a mother. In another land our broken cord stretched far on the moors, the flint of our tongue, the tinder, the coal. Hung in their black sacks our lungs sang to the dead dark night of the child too young in her grave. We wore the eyes of the damned. Our biblical chant we took to the wars, candled the lanterns to hopes of our home, when Madame in her manner, high summer, forgot. In our hallway of night, watched lights in distant houses dream up their happinesses, all the bells of Notre Dame, and mourned in our trench, in our filth, in our lice, for our spouses and corpses as our dead stank the ground. Hometown was lonely that year. Here, us, we never danced down promenades, our arms like silver chimes. Our drip was slow through time. Gritted and gnarled, no child never aspired to living till 3. We got a VC and still died on the slump of our knees. And in the candle of our last hour's sleep, across the moors and the mines, sit the ghosts of our shanties, long crippled in time. The moon, with his holy eye of light, still sits on his swing, smoking his pipe. Here, at night, tell them we saw the chasms and grey seascapes of fate, the cracks in mankind, poverty's shadows tall on the walls, and our dark graveside flowers all dead on the day when our bones got up and slowly walked away. Don't say that our stars are forgotten today. Don't say I am nothing at all. Thanks.
I want to live in a perfect world where passengers, not customers, ride trains, where pacifists and socialists and cyclists all receive their rightful dues, the true custodians of the future. I want to live in a hopeful world where weather prophets poke their heads in thunderclouds, have a rummage round, emerging with the welcome news that unequivocally, without a doubt, every cloud, not only number 9, does indeed have a tin foil interior. I want to live in a sensual world where bruised and bulging plums of cloud drip happy tears of rainbow wine on stained glass petaled dog roses. I want the perfect woman too. I want the kind of woman who does impressions, draws caricatures, who juggles with her 5 a day prior to consumption, drops everything and jumps into the ocean, who gets a lot of laughing done and likes to colour things in. Naturally, she must be good in the flower bed, in the herb garden too, adept at nurturing blooms from the most unpromising with cuttings. I want to live in a perfect world where lollipop ladies fall in love with ice cream men on school crossings at the close of summer term, melting into one another as the lights turn green, leaves turn brown, nights turn black, sticking together, if not for life, at least for a holiday fortnight.